Hello everybody and welcome to Common Sense Ability Draft. In today's episode we will be covering how to draft a proper support. Jumping right into it, there are 4 types of abilities you gotta concern yourself with when drafting support. 1 is mobility, 2 is healing, the 3rd is stun/disables, and the 4th is a big ass ultimate. The reason, or basically, first off, I want to tell you guys that this is not the proper order to draft it, because this is not based on the most important things you'll get as a support. There are exceptions to this, however. If you are a strength carry or a strength support, you might want to concern yourself with skipping mobility and getting mana instead. What defines a support is usually if you have one of the last 4 picks, because that means you'll be very close to having a double pick, which will be a combination pick between a mobility item and an ultimate. Basically, you want to concern, if you're a strength hero, you want to concern yourself with getting mana instead. Some good mana support abilities are Arcane Aura, which will really increase your regen. Mana Drain, Lion's Mana Drain, which will allow you to replenish your mana off the enemy's range creep. Essence Aura is absolutely amazing as well because it directly increases your mana pool, plus every time you cast a spell it gives you I think like 25% chance of replenishing a bit of your mana. Sacrifice is good as well because it will allow you to constantly regen your mana pool by denying creeps, which will basically give you an advantage in lane because they're not able to get as much farm or as much experience as you are because you're constantly denying creeps in front of them. Last thing is Ring of Basilius. The reason why this is good is because basically if none of these skills are available, get a Ring of Basilius. It should solve most of your mana issues depending on how mana heavy you are. Mobility spells. If you have a double pick and there's a blink on the line, get the blink. Skip the rest, get the blink. The blink is absolutely essential for you to get off a good ultimate. But good blinks and jumps are, of course, Antimage's blink. Also, Queen of Pain's blink. They're absolutely tremendously good skills because they work a lot like a blink dagger, and it's gonna save you 2,100 gold. So you will not have to farm a blink dagger. You can just go straight axe or something like that. Pounce and Time Walk are good as well. Pounce is a bit of an issue because if you're chasing single targets, it's gonna put you in a vulnerable position where you don't want to be because you're gonna have to get up close, and if you're ranged, that's not where you want to be. Leap is decent as well because it does have quite a lot of distance and it allows you to escape very easily. But unlike the Pounce, you don't have anywhere to. It doesn't latch on. The reason why I've not included Timber Chain is first of all because it's not very good as a jump. Second of all, it's not in the ability draft. Timber Saw has been excluded from ability draft. There is also Tusk Snowball, which is absolutely tremendously good. I just tried it out with an Earthshaker ulti, and it's very good in the sense that it locks on, it stuns right as you enter, and you can bring people with you to actually start a fight. Bower Strike is good as well. You usually use it on Sand King before you get your Blink Dagger. But if you have like any of these, the leaps and the Skewer for instance, get a Blink Dagger on top of that. Movement speed increasers, they're very good because a lot of supports have very poor base movement speed, and this will allow you to skip things like a Yule Scepter. Fiery Soul. Very good because you can cast abilities on end and start gaining movement speed and attack speed, which will help you take down towers and creep waves. Thirst is extraordinarily good because the only thing it really does for your carry when it's on him is give him about 40 extra damage. The thing that it does for you basically is of course give you 40 extra damage, which will help you out eventually actually doing some good instead of just having to use your spells. Plus, it gives you movement speed based on how low heroes are around the map, and it grants you true sight of some of the low ones, which helps out your carry in the end as well. Let's raise your passive right here. The reason why I've chosen to include this is because it works very, very well on carries, but it works decent on the support because it does return a little bit of damage and does give you a good base extra movement speed. Hugh, aka Deduxia Surge. It's tremendously good because it will give you a short max movement speed bonus, so you're able to get out of tough situations easily. You're able to pop it on other on your carries, which is basically true of any support. Empowering Haste is good because it will grant you some regular movement speed off casting your abilities. Optionals are the Slaughter Sprint, Firefly, Warcry, Phantom Lancer's Rush, and Witchcraft. These are optionals because they do not really work that well on supports alone. With the Slaughter's Rush, you get increased, basically you receive extra damage. Firefly is only good for if you have to escape, because you can run up cliffs. It does not really increase your movement speed by default. Warcry is best on a carry. Witchcraft, you will need an ultimate, and basically you'll need the Death Prophet ultimate and Phantom Lancer in the end. That is of course the Rush, which will put you in a bad spot. Moving on to good healing abilities. Of course, healing abilities are absolutely tremendous. They're actually almost essential for your carry to do good in the lane. Some very, very good ones are Purification and Shadow Weave because they're instant. Death Pulse works well as well because you can get a little bit of farm off that. It'll help you push. Healing Ward will help you out in the lane if you gotta pull back though for it. Some of these are not very good because you gotta pull back. Shadow Ward is absolutely amazing because it will grant you, it basically works like a tango, so you constantly have a tango in your inventory, and Living Armor helps you grant, helps out your towers as well. I would only recommend getting Mistcall if you are a strength support, because you're going to be losing a lot of health, which means you have to buy a lot of regen yourself. I did try it on Spirit Breaker here not too long ago, and it worked out rather well because it does allow you to get a couple of kills yourself if they're out of range. But these are some of the best ones to do. The reason why I've included Shallow Grave is because it's more of a carry type spell, but it works decently on supports as well, because you can save your carrier slot for of his ability tree. Stuns and disables. This is what really characterizes a support. The stuns and slows. Most of you know who they are because obviously they're stuns, and they will say so on the when you pop them up, when you take a look at the abilities. But these are just a couple of examples of really, really good ones. Hexes, for instance, are amazing with slows. The Crystal Nova and the Frostbite they're tremendously good. Or I feel, I'm not entirely sure what this one's called. I absolutely forgot. It's a Lich ability. It is his Lich. It works a lot like the Crystal Nova. And of course the stuns. Do not go for single target stuns unless you absolutely have to, because single target stuns work well on carries, which is why you really want to be going for AoE type deals. They cannot really be called AoEs, but they can stun multiple targets, like Fissure for instance, or Ice Path because it locks them down, the Earth Spike, and of course actually the Shackle. The Shackle works well because it does render you useless, but it does have quite a lot, or quite long duration. So that really also works very, very well as well if you have a DPS carry on your team or on your lane. It'll allow it to set up a couple of early kills. And of course the big ass ultis. You'll need a big ulti when you're a support, and these are a couple of good ones. I've chosen to include the Sonic Wave because it really, really synergizes well with having a big crowded teamfight. Basically, for the regular ultis, you will need an Echo Slam for the Earth Shaker, or not an Echo Slam. Basically, you will need an extra ability, an extra Earth Shaker ability for the Echo Slam really to be useful. The Warlock ultimate is absolutely tremendously good on a support because you can build a refresher out of it, you can build an axe quite effectively because you're getting a lot of gold, first of all off kills and second from taking towers. Venomancer's ultimate is amazing for big crowded team fights because you can jump in, spray that out, run back out, they'll be going low, and then you can just start going in for the pickoffs if your carries are not alive anymore. Ravage, of course, does not allow or does not require you to get an axe, which is why it's so amazing. You can just go straight refresher Ravage will win you the game, I'm telling you. Black Hole, of course, also amazing, and these synergize very, very well with Blink because they're mostly based on position, and what kind of position you're in. Chain Frost does not really depend on where you are, but it does give you a major advantage. Death Ward, of course, does require BKB. Any channeling ultis does require you to get BKB. I forgot to include one here, which is basically the epicenter, which is by far, in my opinion, the best teamfight ulti there is. And I'll tell you why in just a second here, as we're moving on to the items that you'll need. If you have not gotten movement speed, you can go for a Eul Scepter, Force Staff, Blink Dagger. You'll need to get couriers and wards, of course, if you're a support, because you'll not need a whole lot of items. And the reason why I am saying that the epicenter is one, if not the best teamfight ultimate, is the Vial of Discord, because that synergizes so well with it. You pop that on him, you charge up, and you rush in. If you want to see it in action, you gotta go watch my my How to Play Ability Draft live commentary. I play Visage in that one. Absolutely amazing ulti. The epicenter with the Vial of Discord and the Agnum Scepter. Of course, if you could not get the Blink Dagger, you gotta get a Force Staff, or if you could not get a Blink ability, you gotta get a Blink Dagger or Force Staff. Eul Scepter will increase your movement speed by quite a lot. Refresher, of course, pretty much explains itself. Mechanism is very, very good for supports because it allows you to last longer in team fights. A pair of arcane boots, you don't always have to do it, but it is definitely a very, very good option if you are lacking mana. Especially if you're strength and you cannot get any of the mana spells or the mana abilities. Just get a pair of arcane boots because they will pretty much solve all of the mana issues you will have throughout the game. Alright, with that, me wrapping that up, I think I'm pretty much done. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'm still trying for 50 subscribers before March. So if you haven't done it yet, please do go ahead and subscribe. It's a huge morale boost every single time, and I know I say it every single video, but it really is true. I love to make content for you guys, but I'm blabbering too much. See you guys. See you next time. Bye bye.